I'm like, Russ showed me this. So you just exhale all the air
and then just fucking push up against them.
Completely opposite from when you lift, when you're actually inhaling all the air and pressing up.
Oh, there we go. There you go.
Is it good?
About to wash my get my
Just
clothes.
these love handles, like they kind of bother me. Like,
in time, you get consistent, they'll go away.
You know, maybe I should do a detox. What do you think?
Detox? That's the worst thing you can do.
Oh, we're on video anyway. So let's do this, guys out there in the digital, probably Facebook world.
Right.
UTG fans, we got another important message for you. We want to talk about protein shakes, juicing, detoxes. 3 huge product lines in the fitness industry that get marketed all the time. Odds are if you're watching this video, you're invested in something that I just named. Let's start with protein shakes. I get this question all the time from just the average person. They're like, when should I take my protein shake? How should I take my protein shake? How many times should I take it? What kind should I take? The answer actually is not an answer. I have a question that I have to send right back to the client, which is, why are you taking a protein shake?
What are your goals?
What goal are you trying to achieve? Exactly. If you can't answer this, then you are actually just drinking liquid calories that could go towards a million other things. Like, even the lowest calorie protein shakes could be like 3 chocolate fudgesicles, awesome ice cream things. So why? I don't see the benefit, especially because 99% of you just want to lose body fat. So I don't know what a protein shake has to do with body fat if you can't express to me a goal that requires protein shakes. So that's the first thing. Eliminate that because you can have more calories for other things. Opportunity cost, excuse me. Fancy business term, but it applies to anything else. Anything about that?
That's pretty much right on.
Juicing. You want to talk about that one, or?
Yeah, that's just where I shoot myself. Not for nothing.
Okay, fine. I'll take this one too. So juicing, this one's a big one too. It's not as common, but it's pretty common. A lot of clients invest hundreds of dollars in these juicers and these ingredients and these all fresh, natural stuff, whatever it might be. And it's kind of funny because, again, you are just wasting calories. Pretty much all fruits are very high in calories. The only exception I'm aware of are strawberries, and strawberries are usually about half the calories of anything else. Even blueberries are twice the amount of calories. A banana, for example, is 3 times the amount of calories. And you can easily check this and validate what I'm saying. You can add greens to juicing, but again, the question really is why? So if you come and say, well, I really love it, fine, then do it. But why would you prefer to drink like a bunch of liquid lettuce or greens or whatever when you can put it into a salad, throw some awesome dressing on it, have like 200 calories, but it's gonna fill you up. Food fills you up. This has been validated in so many studies by Dr. Brian Wansink and Dr. Barbara Rolls. If you don't know who they are, look them up. Juicing. All right, so that's a good segue to the big one, the detoxes. Do I dare ask you to say anything about it?
The metabolic damager? You can go ahead and take care of that for me.
The classic metabolic damager. All right. Okay. First things first. The word detox alone on these things. This is a pure marketing term because detox is what your liver does. The liver has very few purposes. Actually, has a lot of purposes, but very few primary purposes. And one of those purposes is to detoxify whatever's in your bloodstream. That's what the liver is for. Why would you need a supplement to do that? Are you actually gonna sit there and say that your body is not good enough to detox its own contaminants? Yeah. I don't get that one. I'm sorry, I don't. But now let's talk about the weight loss thing. Now we can also tie the juicing back into this. If you're purely juicing or you're doing your detox diet where you have these meal replacements, and you're like, oh well, my friend lost all this weight and so did I. So it worked. What's the problem with that statement?
For how long did they keep the weight off? I've never seen anyone actually keep the full weight loss from a detox.
No, at most we've seen some rare people that have kept it off for maybe a couple years, but it still comes back. Most people it comes back within weeks. You cannot outsmart your own biology. The second you do that detox, you called it the metabolic crasher for a good reason. First of all, I mean, it's an extreme term, so don't go crazy thinking like, oh, I broke my metabolism. You didn't break your metabolism, but your body likes to adapt. It likes to maintain homeostasis. So if you're dropping calories so drastically, it's like you're pulling on this rubber band. right? So if your metabolism is this rubber band, you're pulling on it, and what happens as soon as you let go and start eating real food? It's gonna snap back. So it doesn't snap back into place. It's actually gonna overshoot, body fat overshoot. You're actually gonna end up with more weight than when you began every time you try one of these detoxes. This is a fact. You know, this is a biological consequence that you cannot avoid, no matter how many times you tell yourself that. So if you want to rush to weight loss, you already cut yourself out of the game. It's not going to happen for you. You can't do that. See the other video where we talked about how if you want to have abs, you need to have abs all the time. It's not about getting to abs. It's about being a man or woman with abs all year round. Big difference. These companies that sell detoxes, they put millions and millions of dollars in advertising, before and afters, everything to convince you this works. And that's why you buy it, because they know what they're doing and selling it. But that doesn't mean that it's true. Nobody you know, I guarantee this much, nobody you know has done a detox and kept the weight off. It will never happen. And again, you might think, oh, I'll temporarily just detox now, and then I'll worry about keeping the weight off later. A lot of people think that, but what you're really doing is just setting yourself up to have more weight than when you started that detox. I'll let you say any final thoughts.
On the detox and the weight loss, if let's say for some reason you did your research and you kind of realized the metabolic effects of a huge calorie deficit and you timed it properly, went into that huge deficit and slowly reverse dieted back to normal to keep that weight loss off, if you thought about that process for that time frame, you really could have done it right from the get-go and ended up in the same spot without having this stressful time period where your calories are super low for you just to kind of work your metabolism back to get to the same weight loss down here. If you're consistent throughout the whole way and not having any spikes and a calorie deficit along the way, you're going to be much happier and much more sane and keeping your abs longer and more likely of having a happy time getting there.
I have to now add something too on that word sane. This is purely psychological too. I talked about the biology, but on a psychological level, you are depriving the heck out of yourself. So the thing is, a lot of times I hear somebody how they can do this strict diet or a detox, and they might hold it strong for like a month before hyperphagia occurs, and they go on a binge, a never-ending binge. And then maybe a year later, they're like, oh, well, you know, it worked for me then, so let me try it again. The problem is what they'll notice is they can't even make it the full month the second time around. Third time around, you can't even make it as much as you did the second. It's not going to work for you. It never will. Let it go. Save your money.
Seriously.
It's just not going to happen. You need to understand that we are going to constantly tell you the things that you do not want to hear, because unfortunately for you, and everybody else, no good things in life come easy. You need to learn how to do things the right way. So now, if you have nothing else to say, okay, email list. Right below, it's gonna pop up, probably already did. Sign up, put the email in. We can really give you a lot more information. We can prove to you that what we're saying is true with some scientific references. Really, you're missing out if you're not on the email list. Make sure you sign up.
Best idea you can make all day.
All year.